Hello again, everyone. YouTube, internet. It's Jerry, Old Guys Review. So, let's do a review. Now, Ron Hellman requested to see this vehicle up close, and he's one of my Rons, so here it is. Now, Ron, I'm going to tell you right now, I feel bad about giving this vehicle a bit of a review because it appears that it is discontinued. For those of you who know this, or those of you who don't know this, this is the Axial Scx10-II 69 Blazer. Now, I don't even know, I guess we could call this is going to be a long-term review because I've had it since it was released. As soon as I caught wind of it, I had to order it. And I'm not even bashful about it. The reason I ordered it was that Axial finally made a vehicle that wasn't a Jeep. And being that I'm old, and when I grew up, you'd see these driving around the streets. They weren't completely restored. They were well used. It was just another vehicle. Now this vehicle comes without the hardtop, just has a roll cage. So, of course, once the hardtop came out, I had to get it. I made a soft top for it, which for my first soft top ever made was okay. It was tolerable. But once I saw this hardtop coming out, growing up, every one of these trucks had a white hardtop on it. And the best thing about them was they were removable. And there was nothing cooler to see on the road than a Blazer, because that was the original short bed pickup truck. It looked great. And if you were sitting in that back seat, phenomenal ride. Now, just a quick synopsis for whoever may or may not have seen these before. It's an officially licensed body by Chevy. Here, while I talk, we'll swip her around so we can show some more of the stuff. Officially licensed body. It has a company called Chassis Unlimited, has made the front and rear tube bumpers. As you can see, I love this truck, and it gets a lot of use. What else? We got the Axial Scx10-II AR44 axles, chassis mounted servo. The original Scx2 did not have the chassis mounted servo, so that was a big upgrade. The transmission that we'll get to was completely redesigned. More realistic it looked too. That was great. So the big point of this was a $350 truck ready to run, and it came with all steel links. Axial, you have to usually buy the fancier version of their trucks to get the steel links. Otherwise, you just got plastic. Now, the battery box, they were pretty proud of their redesign, but I have a lot of older style hump packs, and they don't work in this truck. And we'll get to that. You could just use a regular 6-cell nickel metal or a 2 to 3S LiPo in it. It's got officially licensed method wheels, which of course were just gray and bland. So I had to get in there with my markers. Even did the method emblem, which, what a pain, it's so tiny. It has officially licensed, get back to the tires, the Falcons, which this one, I did my version of raised white letters, which they're pretty faded now. The transmission has all metal gears in it. It had the Wild Boar heavy-duty shocks. And this came, which was really neat, was the AE5L speed control came with 2 leads on it for lights, front and rears. And this was one of the first trucks I had that the speed control has 2, what do they call them, jumpers? So you could control, you can set it for lipo or nickel metal, and then you could set the drag brake for, I believe there's 50-50, there's 40-20, something like that. Now I see that almost everyone's are coming out now with the jumper leads, which is pretty neat. Which, you know, just with a flick, instead of having to be like Traxxas and go into the speed control and wait for it to flash 5 times and then hit the brakes or hit the gas and wait for some more blinks. You just boom, boom. Pull a pin, relocate it, you're done. You've got your nice sliders, which this is just like all the trucks I do. This has all been rubberized undercoated, which is durable as heck. It comes with these 2 lights in the fog lights, which is kind of weird. Why just do fog lights instead of headlights? There's buckets for the turn signals and headlights. So it didn't have tail lights, so I mounted up some from an extra axial kit, so it's got tail lights. 1962 license plate, which he probably took off of his 62 when he got his 69 and upgraded. Let's see if we can get the light just right. There we go. This vehicle somehow became the one I always use when I run with my granddaughter. Now, right there you can see those are tire marks. Top, durable as heck. It's got a lot of indicators. So every time I pull this truck down, that's part of the reason I don't clean them a lot. Oh, there's more marks. I just think of the excitement of driving with my granddaughter. A lot of nice little effects. These tops were really finicky to cut out and to get them to work right. So being that I always have extra stickers, you know, I like to throw a little customization on it, so to speak, because ready to runs. Oh, look, she obviously got me on the side too. Just fun. So, whip off the top. So I'm going to tell you right now, if you can say that your RC car survives your granddaughter, you're doing something right. So as usual, I like to make sure that my truck is different when I'm out with anyone else that might have the same truck. So the shocks, they're fake reservoirs. I took the fake reservoirs and I painted them all red and detailed out the little lines that were on them with silver, just a little something to make them look different when you're looking through the fender wells. Now here we go to this battery tray. So you can only put a battery in sideways. So I've got a bunch of the hump packs, and why waste them? But they don't work in here. So I had to dedicate certain batteries to running with this truck. But these trucks, these Scx10-IIs are so light, and their transmissions are so efficient, along with the axles, which, you know, you've got to get in there and detail your axles up a little bit. But they're so light. You know, I use a nickel metal 5,000 milliamp in this, and this truck will run for quite a long time, even tearing around with my granddaughter. Let's see if you can see those little. So this one just recently was having some work done to it, and I just ran it out to test it out, see what I did. And Yeah, it's a little bit of a rat's nest, so I apologize. For people who don't like rat's nests, Nick, you know who you are. So there's those two little pins right here, and you just move them up and down. One's for the battery, one's for the drag brake. Let's see here. Let's see how close I was. I'm going to have to bring it up to the old eyes to read it. Oh, so the drag, it gives you the drag brake, but the only choice is it's 50 and 100. So I've got it at 50 right now. When you have this at 100, this thing will sit on an incline like that. It's just wickedly, I mean, the truck, it just doesn't weigh anything. So there's the inside, there's the bottom. Filthy, filthy vehicle. But running it around in mud is pretty fun. And then when you put it back together, one of my favorite things about the way this truck is, especially with the hardtop on, is how it kind of sits lower in the rear end like an old saggy truck might, even though this doesn't have leaf springs on it like it would. Now, the only thing that I didn't care for, if you've heard any of my other videos, this is the tactic radio that I've talked about. It's got this fiddly little 2 buttons, which is a 3rd channel. If anyone has successfully made that 3rd channel work, let me know in the comments. Because I have tried to get that fiddly little thing to work as a 2-speed, as a servo winch controller. I'm really glad that Axial has now gone to Spectrum radios, because this was okay if, like right now, this truck has no need for a 3rd channel. That radio works perfect. Now, I haven't gotten a Spectrum, one of their newer kits yet with the Spectrum, other than the Yeti Junior. So it doesn't have a 3rd channel on it. So we'll see how that ends up in the long run. So that was it. What do you think, Ron? Does it bring back memories? I know it did for me. That's mainly the reason I bought it. So, anyone, let me know what you think. Do you have one? Do you enjoy it as much as I've enjoyed it? Has it been as durable for you as it's been for me? I'm thinking now this has to have been out for 3 years. So this one gets a lot of work for me every summer whenever my granddaughter comes over. It's because one of the only ones I'll run with her. And if your vehicle can stand up to an 8, 7, 8, and 9-year-old granddaughter who has a lot beefier bumpers on her than this truck, the body's not even cracked. Oh, look, I got more scratches all along the chrome. Yep. Makes me smile when I think about all the running I've done with her with it. So, Ron, is that good? For everyone else, let me know. Let's have a comparo about this vehicle. If not, I see that a lot of times my 110 scales are not very popular on the site. So, like it if you do. Give me some comments. This is Jerry. Have an awesome evening.